Hey guys, Dan here. I'm going to show you what I'm doing in Q4 to try to make millions of dollars. And I'm going to show you exactly how I plan on doing it. This is not new information for me. As you guys know, I've been investing for over 3 decades, and I'm just going to share with you my strategy. This is not financial advice. This is what I'm going to do in crypto. This is what I'm going to do with my business. This is what I'm going to do with my stocks. This is what I'm going to do with my real estate. All here in Q4 to take advantage of what's going on. So first, you guys have seen the government shutdown thing. Look, it's happened before. It happened back in 2018, and it's happened many times before. Typically, it doesn't crash markets like stocks and crypto and things like that. In fact, what typically happens is counterintuitive to what a lot of people think. In crypto, it typically causes fear with a lot of people. All the sheep get super scared, and a lot of the smart money runs into crypto and different hard assets during this time. And but again, a lot of retail people, get kind of scared and stuff like that, and they just either get paralyzed or they stop dollar cost averaging, which I've talked about, which is not really the thing to do. So this also correlates with Q4 right now and the Bitcoin halving in the following Q4, which is typically really great. There's a little joke, we call it Uptober for October, post-halving Q4. So very, very excited about what we'll see in mid, small cap, even large cap and Bitcoin here in Q4. So could be a pretty interesting opportunity. Now, lots of interesting new opportunities happening in tech right now. Of course, CPU demand is insane. AI demand is insane. But I want you to go back to 2001. I'm kind of old. So that was the dot-com bubble. And you saw a lot of companies blow up and go to zero that were tech companies, pets.com, stuff like that, right? And the companies that did well, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, the big names, they did well because they had functional utility. They actually had cash in the bank or in their accounts. And they actually had a business that generated cash flow and great net profits. And so I think what you'll see with the AI bubble is, a big run up on a lot, and there's a lot of money to be made in a lot of these speculative plays. But when the crash happens, it's going to be pretty significant. So I like to keep a majority of my holdings in AI and a lot of the big companies like this. And again, you have to do your own research and pick what you want. But man, what NVIDIA is doing, NVIDIA just gave like $5 billion or something like that to Intel. They're talking about integrating their RTX chips onto the Intel chips. Intel has fab. I've been talking about Intel forever. I served on their board advisors for 17 years officially. And so I can tell you now that I'm retired from the board advisor position that I think Intel's future now, man, if they combine that like they have with NVIDIA, could be very compelling. Saw their stock go from $20 to over $30 very, very quickly. And I think they're just getting started. And why does NVIDIA want to do this? Well, CPUs are already in people's computers right now, right? So if you can integrate instead of Intel graphics, NVIDIA's technology, oh my gosh, that's going to be crazy. The next thing you're going to see a big integration of is NPU, those neural processing units. So you got CPU, which is your brain in your computer. You got GPU, which is graphics, right? And also AI. But NPU, Apple has that neural engine, and also you're seeing a lot of this integration into the new AMD and Intel chips. So NPUs are going to be huge, and NVIDIA and Intel and all that are going to have a play into that as well, for all the computing that's going out there. So I think this, again, more opportunities. Man, what do we got here? Got AI, right, which is just crazy. We got quantum computing. We got blockchain. Now we got NPU. And now you have integration of GPU into CPU with NPU. Oh my gosh, there's millions of dollars to be made here. You're standing right in front of this opportunity. It's awesome. So a couple companies you want to research. Watch NVIDIA, obviously, play, and Intel's play. There's a lot of really interesting small AI plays. One of them I played, actually, I'm not saying you should buy this, was BBAI, which was interesting, made a killing on that. And then OKLO made a killing on that. And again, they may go, but they may blow up, because I think a lot of them don't have a lot of cash flow, so there's a lot of hype there, right? But, we'll run it. So, also, a few more things that are interesting. I just made a very large deployment into some silver ETFs based on what's called a LEAP, which is an option play. You're going to have to chat GPT that, because I don't think we have time to talk about that, enough time here. But basically, you're buying an option, a right to buy a stock. But the stock sometimes is already leveraged. You could buy an option play on a 2x leveraged ETF, and then you're talking insanity risk, but insanity upside. So that's my Vegas money, right? But it's just awesome when you wake up and you're like, oh, I made extra 100 grand on this one, 100 grand on that. It's crazy. But again, you guys got to make sure you look at your portfolio allocation. And I've talked about it before. You want to have a certain percentage in tech and speculative play and blockchain and all that. A lot of people ask me, what percentage should I put into blockchain? Like Bitcoins, Ethereum, that kind of thing, Solana, and all the other tokens. A lot of people on a conservative level are recommending 5%, 10%. But again, it's all about risk tolerance, though. And it depends on your age and how much you need the money and those kind of things, right? So you need to allocate accordingly. I think real estate is also a great play, but it takes a lot of down payment typically to get into real estate and to cash flow and do it right. But you get some great tax advantages. I really, really like commercial real estate, like industrial flex. I also like crappy strip malls. I like duplexes, things like that. And I've bought a whole bunch of them over the last 30 years. And so that's been a good play. Not as exciting as appreciation, but the tax advantage is good. But one thing, I can't remember if I just told you about this, but precious metals right now, silver, palladium, platinum, gold, you don't have to physically buy it. You can buy ETFs again, and you can chat GPT that. You can even buy leveraged ETFs, which amplify those. So for example, if silver goes up X number of dollars, right, it goes up 10%. If it's a 2X ETF, 10% will be 20%, but same way on the way down. So be very careful when you're investing in those. But it's crazy. I had a guy message me about an Intel leap. I told him hey, you should research Intel leaps, and he was like up 200% in like a couple days. It was pretty funny. But again, those leveraged plays are very dangerous, and that should only be money you're willing to lose. And I believe the same thing is with blockchain. If you're investing in mid and small cap, very risky, but the upside is crazy. And every 4 years is a Bitcoin halving, where the mining difficulty becomes twice as hard. And then typically within a year or so after that, you start seeing mid and small caps go up after Bitcoin, then Ethereum, and then mid and small cap. And so now we're entering into that cycle. So I think you're going to see some really interesting stuff happening here in Q4. So for me, I'm continuing to dollar cost average weekly, if not daily sometimes, into crypto, into AI stocks, into precious metals, whether it be physical, or I actually like more stock traded type of precious metal plays. You can look at GLD, PALL, SLV, and then there's leverage versions. Those are non-leverage versions. But again, not financial advice. It's just this education for you of what's available. You ultimately have to decide what you want to buy. Now, one thing you can do when you have this government shutdown thing, who cares? It's just an opportunity, right? You cannot affect politics. You cannot affect the government, but you can pick up your boogie board and ride that wave. You can. And that's why I make these videos. All right, so a couple action items for you today. Do some research on precious metal, whether you're going to buy physical. Now, if you're buying physical, go to I Like All About Coins in Salt Lake City. Ask for Alex or Bob. Tell them Dan sent you. If you like digital, right, something you just have on your phone, go to Fidelity. I like Fidelity. I don't like Robinhood that much, even though some people use it. The fees are just too high for crypto for Robinhood. And for crypto for noobs, Coinbase, they have Coinbase Advanced. I would use that because a lot cheaper trading fees. And Coinbase One offers even more discounted fees and features. I just got my Coinbase credit card. It pays like 4% in Bitcoin back. But you have to have, the caveat is it's 2 to 4% or something like that. But you have to have like 300 grand or something in crypto to get the highest rate of return. And so if you got Bitcoins, maybe you keep some of it there. You can even borrow against your Bitcoins there as well. So you don't have to sell it and have a tax event per se. Talk to your CPA to verify. But it's nice if you plan on being a long-term lifetime holder of Bitcoin. You can use that money for emergencies or business ventures and things like that. Last thing is for business. What I'm doing right now is I'm focusing heavily in my business to make as much money as possible. My business is PC Laptops, Zydex, Ugly Unicorn, all these different companies that I have, real estate, all these different things. I'm trying to optimize those because the more cash that I have, the more I can invest into these assets. One interesting thing too, I forgot to tell you, so much news. It's been a few days, right? ADP reports the jobs reports were crappy. Well, that's actually good as far as rate cuts go, which cause people to flock to hard assets. All right, so this is happening real time. You don't want to be the guy or the girl that's like, oh, I missed it. It's like, these are like the people who were selling all their stocks during COVID. I mean, that's when I was buying. I think I bought, what was it? Like over 12, a little over 10 or 10, maybe 12 real estate investment projects during that time. Bought tons of stock, bought tons of crypto, and people are like, you're so lucky. No, you just do counterintuitively what all the sheep are doing. So just don't be a sheep. Now, I made these videos for you at what cost? There's always a cost. 100 grand a video? No. I just ask that you do two things. You execute and do the research, and then dollar cost average or whatever you choose to do, but just don't sit there and do nothing. The second thing is comment, like, share this video. That's super, super critical so we can help more people, because I don't charge you anything for these videos. I've been blessed enough to have enough abundance where, like, my mission here is to, like, help educate people so that you're not stuck in poverty and you can leave a legacy for your family. And speaking of that, a lot of people have asked me, Dan, what's an accredited investor? You can Google the criteria, but it's usually $1 million net worth besides your primary residence. There's certain income thresholds. It's like 200 grand a year for a single person, 300,000 for a married couple. And if you're an accredited investor, you can invest in certain things that non-accredited investors can't participate in. Again, Google to certify all that stuff. It's all on the internet. But a lot of people ask, Dan, why do you talk about accredited investor? Because to invest in the Ugly Unicorn Crypto Hedge Fund, that's what I do for a living, that Bridger Pennington and myself run, you have to be accredited investor or higher. It's 100 grand deployment or higher. We manage a very large basket of cryptocurrencies, so you don't have to. In fact, today we had just a huge amount of money come in from different financial planning groups, different individual investors. We have a lot of family offices that deploy into our fund just because they don't have 24/7, 7 days a week to watch crypto, because crypto is a 24/7 market. So if that's something you're interested, direct message me. Deployments are done for this month, but we can get paperwork and queued up so you can enter and have your money deploy in. You can send it by the end of the month and it'll post the first of next month, which is great as we go into Q4 if you feel like that's a right fit for you. All right, guys. So action items, do your research, execute your buys and things if you feel like it's right for you and what you've done your own research and you understand. Second thing is like, comment, share this video so we can help more people. All right, you guys have an awesome day. Get on your surfboard, and I hope you make millions of dollars. And if you're not accredited, I hope that you become accredited very quickly.